Well, hello there, busy professionals, and welcome back to episode 7 of Anticipating the New Workplace Normal Post-COVID-19. And this episode has just one video, and I do believe this is the final episode. However, I do reserve the right to add more if I think it is really useful and very valuable. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Gretchen, and I've been a change management consultant for nearly 3 decades, consulting to primarily Fortune 500 companies. And I have been managing stakeholders and change teams around the world on very large global projects and doing it all from my office in the United States. Now, as we begin to think about what is our new workplace going to look like, we've seen a lot of information about remote working. So I do hope whatever you're planning as your strategy to get people back to work, hopefully it does include a remote working strategy. But realistically, we're not going to have everyone work from home or work remotely, right? So we do need to think through what happens at the workplace. What do we need to do differently? And perhaps even permanently post-COVID-19. So in this episode, I actually have a PowerPoint for you. And you can download it. It should be downloadable in the box below you or someplace nearby. So I'm just going to kind of walk through this, walk through the information, and then please feel free to download it and use it if it is helpful, and I hope it is. Okay, so I am going to try to share my presentation here. Just 1 second. Okay, here we are. So this is the back to work strategies for post-COVID-19. And this deals with, we've spent so much time on remote working, the advantages, the obstacles, etc. And now we need to talk about the actual workspace and taking care of people as we all go back to work. Okay, so let's take a look at what we need to do to our physical space and what do you need to anticipate as far as taking care of employees once they start coming back to the office. So we have a 3-point strategy for back to work, back to the office. 1, we need to think through what are you going to do as leaders to really help people with their anxiety and their fear about going back to the office. And 2nd point strategy, what about the physical office space? What do you need to do to that before people come back? And 3rd, it's probably the best idea to phase people coming back into the office, and we'll talk through some options there. So just briefly, first thing is we really do need to remember that people will have anxiety. Some of your employees may have lost friends and family members. Some of them may have been sick themselves. So there's going to be quite a bit of trepidation about being in a physical workspace again with people. So just understand and put together a plan on how do we handle the anxiety and the fear for people so that they feel comfortable coming back to work. So obviously empathy and listening, a must. Make sure you create social distancing policies for your office space. What does that look like? And make sure you're really patient and allow people time to adjust. We will have been isolated for not sure exactly how many weeks, but it's going to take some time to readjust and to be in an environment with other folks, definitely. And you might want to conduct a re-entry interview for employees just to gauge their level of concern, what they're concerned about, what their needs are, and then you can do this prior to reopening any offices, and it will definitely put you ahead of the game if you do that. And create social support at work. Oftentimes, what I'm hearing a lot of companies are doing even now, while people are still working remotely during our stay-at-home orders, is they're doing things on Slack. They're doing things on video conferencing, a meditation, a fun time, laugh sessions, and just doing some easy ways to support each other. If your company has an employee assistance program, this is really their time to shine, that they can come and make sure people feel comfortable, provide resources. That is a very, very helpful thing for employees as we all kind of figure out what this new normal is going to look like in the workplace. All right, what about the physical workspace? And I know we've been hearing about this on the news. We're going to make major changes to physical workspaces. The open office space probably will not be so open anymore, but you're going to have to rearrange desks and floor space so that people can still go to work and accommodate social distancing. I know some companies are instigating one-way traffic walkthroughs around the office just to keep the crossing of employees to a minimum. And this is a really good idea. Assign seating so that you can have some kind of transmission trackability, so that you know if someone does end up with the virus again, then if you really, if you know who sits where, then it's easier to understand who that person may have had contact with and when. And it is time to take all the personal items home. The Beanie Babies, the photos, because you want to make sure that your cleaning crew can really do a great job of cleaning off desk spaces every day or multiple times a day. Now, collaboration areas, conference rooms, reception areas at the front entry of your office building, lunchrooms, etc. Remember, it's a 10-person maximum, so we're not going to be having the conference room full with 25 people. So make sure that you just take care of the collaboration areas appropriately and move out extra chairs. May have to put them into storage for a while, for maybe a long while, and readjust the layout of the furniture in break rooms and in front reception areas where people will be able to just naturally socially distance due to how you've arranged the furniture. And a lot of companies now, even before they bring people back, which is the time to do this, is they're either raising the panels on their work cubes, or they're putting plexiglass in just to make sure that we reduce the opportunity for virus transmission. So take a look and see what you want to do in that arena. Food service areas, they're going to have to go away for now. Coffee maker, water dispenser, any non-packaged food should be temporarily removed. No potluck lunches, birthday parties, etc. for a while. And what most companies are doing is they're reducing the hours of their food service vendors and really utilizing already packaged foods and no cash exchanging for sales, for purchases. And cleaning is critical. Have your cleaning crew put hand sanitizer everywhere you possibly can. And make sure you have protocols for hand washing and cleansing and hand towel disposal. And it's a good idea just to help people feel more comfortable if you go ahead and bring in your cleaning crew during the day. Then they can see them around, that the office space is on a very regular basis being cleaned at whatever your hour interval is. That's a really good idea. And by all means, personal protective equipment, have masks there. And what is a great idea is hand out at every shift, hand out desk blotters where because we're going to be sharing desks, but off shift probably. Then each person can come in and put a desk blotter down while they're working, and then they can dispose of that desk blotter at the end of their day, their shift. And then if someone comes in on the next day or the next shift hours, then they can pick up a clean blotter and discard that when they leave. Now, what about phasing things through? First off, I highly recommend leaders work with your HR team and phase people back into the office, and really, at least initially, really prioritize essential staff only. And HR can help you determine who is essential staff and why, and start with them, and then slowly add people back to the workspace. As long as you're monitoring and making sure you don't experience a spike in the resurrection of the virus while you start to bring people back. Continue to encourage remote working by all means, and there will be some people that they won't want to come back to the office because of anxiety and concern for their health or a family member's health. So by all means, continue to encourage people to work remotely as long as their jobs accommodate that. And look at your teams. Look at maybe consider different shifts. Like it could be 2 days a week, certain people come into the office. The other 2 days a week, other people come into the office, and maybe Friday, everyone gets to work remotely as we move into summer. So consider a rotation schedule so that you have as few people in the office at one time as possible. And if you can, monitor temperatures and symptoms. And this is a time to communicate, listen, and reinforce your safety standards. And if you think you're communicating too much, you're probably not. So phase 2, you want to just continue to do this, but a little more, a little more, a little more. Continue to encourage remote working by all means. Continue social distance guidelines. Make sure you have the panels between the cubes and that you are accommodating the 6 feet apart between folks working at their desk. And continue to phase in, and we'll probably be doing staggered schedules, alternate hours, something like that for quite some time to come. And really make sure someone on each floor of your building really knows how many people are in that space at any given time. This would be an opportunity to find floor monitors, and you can have them keep an eye on everything. And phase 3, once we have unrestricted access, and whatever that new normal will be, it will probably still include social distancing It will probably still include walls between cubes, higher walls. So just keep on enjoying that. And I think that's going to be around for a while. And just make sure you really solidify your work from home policies as well. And for more information, I have a link here to Global Workspace Analytics. Okay, well, that was a quick rundown on that. And by all means, go ahead and download it. And I might be adding more videos. I'm not sure yet. But until then, stay safe, everybody. I am the Change Whisperer.